Taurians out there. So please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. If you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, my email address as well as the prices are in the description box below as usual. Okay. Thank you for all the subscribers. Really appreciate the love. Really appreciate the attention. You know, my views are essentially skyrocketing this time around. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the fact that a lot of y'all really do want to see me get back to a point where, you know, I can start making some money again. Because at this point, I'm not really making anything. You know what I mean? I'm not making anything at all. But I've still been able to shake it through because of, you know what I mean, some of the savings and stuff like this that I have. But other than that, I really appreciate really appreciate it, you know. Just keep making these videos into bangers. Give me a thumbs up and a comment really helps the algorithm of the video to perform better. So the cards that I come up with, I am using the Dragon Tarot, or the Ace of Swords, Five of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, the Magician, the Tower, the Six of Cups, the Knight of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Death card, the Justice. I don't really see her too much around. Oh, this card, I should say, Page of Swords, Three of Cups, and last but not least, we have the Page of Cups. I really think that a lot of y'all really want to see me come up. Really appreciate the ones who really do. So yeah, let's get into it, you know. So for the Taurus, what I'm seeing here is a lot of you Taurians are kind of look, y'all already know, y'all already know how I am. A lot of you Taurians are a little bit a lot of you Taurians are not stressed in love. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the Ace of Swords, right? The Ace of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. Taurus is not the most articulate zodiac sign. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, Taurus actually rules silence. So you can't articulate what it is that you're not even speaking about to someone else, right? Unless they could read your mind. But you Taurians have hit a point in your lives where I honestly see that if someone isn't necessarily bringing anything to the table to you that has substance, I just see a lot of you Taurians be like, ah, it is what it is. You know, the Magician, and then you have the Tower card. Both of these cards, right, is Virgo and Taurus. Taurus being the exact opposite zodiac sign. Excuse me, Scorpio being the exact opposite zodiac sign of Taurus. Sorry, I'm thinking about y'all. Now, when you bring both of these together, Virgo, Scorpio, Gemini, Scorpio, you have Spica. Okay, Spica constellation, which is one of the stars, if I'm not mistaken, in the Virgo constellation. That's correct. So this is important for a lot of you Taurus because I just see how a lot of the Taurians really thinking about this. Not necessarily saying this to anybody, but a lot of the Taurians really only wanting people around who actually have some sort of substance around them, right? See, that's the thing with Taurus. Like sometimes Taurus, like, see, here's the thing. Taurus collects people, but sometimes Taurus ends up collecting people who don't really have a lot of value to them. They don't really have a lot of spiritual value. They don't really have a lot of soul value to them. Well, spiritual, yeah, either way, they don't really have a lot of value to them. And see, the Taurus have to understand who and what they're collecting. The Taurians have to learn to differentiate, tell the difference between whether or not they're being, whether or not they're collecting gold or tin. So the thing is that the Six of Cups represents how you're going to have some people who are going to try to call you up, right? Six of Cups, you already know someone wants to come back whom you used to hang out with. The Knight of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, wanting to move on, right? Not really taking this person too seriously at all. What it is that you're moving on to is a more stable lifestyle. Whether you're moving on to a more stable lifestyle, whether this means that you're going to be in a relationship or whether it means that you have to be by yourself for a little while, because Taurus is the lover. It does mean that a lot of you Taurians are going to learn a lot more self-love. See, that's another thing too that Taurus has to learn to watch out for, because that's another chink in the Taurus armor. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this to y'all to humiliate y'all, stuff like this, because you know how some you know how some emotional people are going to be. I'm telling you this type of stuff so that you can watch when that happens. You can control that and you can flip it. Taurus is one of those zodiac signs where love is a very big thing to Taurus, and sometimes the Taurus can end up putting themselves on a chopping block because the Taurians may have love of things, right? They can have a love of things in two ways, right? Smothering or love of the other thing more than the love of self. And I just see how a lot of you Taurians really may have made the mistake of loving the other person, especially the wrong individual, obviously, too much over your own self, and how it is that a lot of you Taurians need to learn to start loving yourselves more, okay? And the Eight of Pentacles is build and destroy, right? Because Scorpio is the 8th zodiac sign, build and destroy. Cancer is the 4th zodiac sign if you're going clockwise. The higher octave of Cancer is Scorpio, the lower octave of Scorpio is Cancer, Crab. So, yeah, so as you can see, this represents how you have to essentially destroy your self-image of yourself and then rebuild it from scratch. The Six of Swords now represents how the Six of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, even though this person does want to hear from you again, right, and they may be reaching out to you, you don't care. You don't care at all. You've essentially already moved on from them. You're done. A lot of you Taurians are done. You Taurians want something more stable. And I'm here to tell a lot of you Taurians that y'all are empty, you know, because I'm going to really start putting foot to butt with some of this stuff, because, you know, too often times you can see, or me personally, because I'm the healer. I'm not the lover. I'm the healer. I'm a Virgo. Taurus is the lover of the zodiac, ruled by Venus. The other zodiac sign that shares Venus is Libra, love, right? Marriage. So too often times I see a lot of people, especially Taurians, who are run down by love, right? And it's like I see that about you, and part of the reason is that a lot of the Taurians need to learn to start connecting back to the spirit, their soul, whatever it is that they want to call it. They want to, not the spirit, excuse me, they want to start connecting back to their soul if they have one. They want to start communioning back with that. They want to start becoming more spiritual again. Because what's happening with you Taurians, right, some of you whom this applies to, is that you're empty spiritually and on a soul level, because the spirit and the soul are two different things. But you're empty. And see how it is that I stand for something? Where does I'm talking about me personally. Where does my conviction come from? My conviction comes from me not being empty. I have a soul. I'm cultivating it. I'm spiritually rich. I'm soulfully rich. So I'm not an empty individual. Only an idiot is going to look at me and be like, oh, well, because such and such and such and such. Again, a lot of that stuff when it comes to material gain, most people sacrifice ethics and their decency for material gain. as to where if you don't sacrifice your your decency for material gain, and you get both, now you're working with something, and now this is a level to do that. So the Death card now represents Scorpio as well, opposite zodiac sign of Taurus, and then you have the Justice card. Now these two cards right here represent how if you complete this process successfully, you're making a huge transition into Justice. Libra, which is the other zodiac sign that shares Venus with Taurus, right? Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So you're becoming more of a Libran energy, or a Libra energy, where you're becoming more justified, more upright, more sound, more happy, more joyful, more tasteful with your own life. Because you need, like I said, you need to start recommunicating with some more of your spiritual practices. If you have a soul, you need, because people can lose their soul, you know. You need to start communing with that. You need to start making that flourish. You know what I'm saying? You need to start making your soul flourish, your spirit flourish. Start getting into some more of your spiritual practices. The reading is about you being too worried about your heartbreak, and how it is that essentially that all that heartbreak that a lot of you Taurans feel is going to subside. But the only way it is going to subside is if you start communing with your spirit and your soul. Because this is essentially why it is that you have so many people who are dumb, mentally ill, completely, because they don't understand the sense of themselves. So the Page of Swords represents, this is a transition for Three of Cups, Page of Cups, more abundance. Okay? You're going to have some people who are going to be jealous of you. Yeah, you're going to have some people who are jealous of you, trying to figure out what exactly are you doing, you know, to stay mentally sound. Because this and this are your two houses, Taurus. Don't let anybody get into any of your houses, let alone both. So let's get into it. Let's clarify the Page of Cups. It's warm, and I'm wearing a black shirt. It's mid-September and it's still warm. So you have the Three of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Nine of Pentacles. We already got the Magician, but still though. To clarify the Page of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Hang out with the people whom you trust. Start learning how to be more comfortable being at odds with people, especially the people whom you don't trust, right? Stop BSing yourself and hanging out with people who aren't really seeing you eye to eye. Too often times, one thing that I noticed about Taurians is they like to hang out with people who like to be on some BS. Not because you lonely, or you'll be lonely without this person being around. You're going to allow, or you should allow yourself to have this person tell you some BS. It's rather you be physically by yourself than hang around these types of people. Why it is that you think that I don't have too many friends, or I don't hang out with people except for my family? Because too many people are on some nonsense. The Magician and the, I almost said the word, and the Nine of Pentacles. The Magician and the Nine of Pentacles represents how, remember, again, these are your two wheelhouses, and your imagination is your superpower. We ain't even gonna get into that because that's a little bit too deep. That's for some of y'all, not all, for some of y'all. The Nine of Pentacles represents how you need to understand that you do have an abundant lifestyle, It's just that you just may be not paying attention. Let's clarify the justice. Ooh, it is warm. You have the Knight of Swords, Queen of Cups, Four of Wands to clarify the justice. When you start communing with your other self, or your higher self, you're gonna start to realize that the things that you once thought were very important to you is going to become less important very soon. And I would know. The Queen of Cups, the Four of Wands. This is a situation also for you where you start becoming that justice representation. The Queen of Cups represents you'll be able to understand people a lot more because you'll be a lot more compassionate. See, too many people misunderstand what compassion is. Compassion is understanding. The most compassionate people on earth are the most well-rounded individuals on earth. Why? Because they can understand and anticipate the way people think. So they understand another person's nature. And if you can understand another person's nature, even if a person was wishing bad on you or trying to come and get you or do something to you, you can make the necessary steps and prepare for what you anticipate the person to do. Because remember, in the book, The Art of War, what does it say? Study yourself and study your opponent. And that's what compassion is. You have to have compassion to your opponent to understand them. So the Four of Wands now represents how it is that you start building, you start fortifying your mind, which is what it is that you need to do. Because remember, you're in a spiritual fight right now with people who want to play a hate. So don't let people hear and hear. All right? Let's clarify the Death card, right? I know this video finna get a lot of views. If this video doesn't get a lot of views, I don't know what the Taurus is on. Let's clarify the Death card. So we have the Temperance, Nine of Cups, Hangman. Temperance represents patience. Patience is one of the things that you're going to need, because if you start becoming anxious for love, anybody can just come in and tell you that they love you, and you'll be manipulated into doing things for that person, even though they didn't necessarily actually mean it. The Nine of Cups, you need to start learning how to, with that patience, watching other people to see if they're full of it. And then the Hangman represents how, when that happens, you're going to essentially see who's the people, who's real with you, who's really for you, and who's not. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video. Please like the video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Would really appreciate it if you did. Peace.